Yeah.
They've lost their minds and it's your fault. What are we being blamed for now, guys? What are we being blamed for now?
It finally happened, and the fallout is what you would expect. In case you don't know, thegamer.com has officially been gutted the same way
Oh,
Polygon and many other
this
websites have as
okay.
well recently too.
Basically, TLDR, game journalists are blaming for game journalist stuff. So, game journalists messed up. So now everything the game journalist messed up, let's blame the average user. Even though everyone knows, they know we know they're obsolete.
But this fallout has become more of a surefire sign that the way games and the people who play and consume media made on these continues to change and then some, but let's get into it. So like I said, The Gamer, a website I've frequently clashed with on this channel because their takes are almost always anti-gamer. Ironic, I know, given the name of the website, has been slaughtered by their parent company Valnet. This was confirmed by Video Games Chronicle, as seen here, where they confirmed that the news that The Gamer has indeed been hit with mass layoffs. The exact word used by VGC is, as also seen here,
The whole gaming industry, when it comes to media and specific studios, is very anti-gamer when they need the gamers to financially sustain. So it's like you're needing something warm while you're no, that's not even a good comparison. It's like basically being in the desert, dying off of heat, and still lighting a fire next to yourself.
You could you want you could do so you
It's counterproductive. Or like giving an umbrella to a fish. It doesn't make sense.
that the gamer has been decimated by these layoffs according to the people that they spoke to. The gamer is not being shut down, but it is being operated in a similar fashion to how Polygon is still operating today too, which was also decimated by layoffs earlier this year in case you don't know. Anyways, Jade King, that's one of the more outspoken members of the gamer, is still there apparently, as also seen here. They confirm that they are still working at the website, but their entire team beneath them is basically laid off and gone now. Now, normally, I would not ever wish layoffs on really anyone because I know the job market is hard out there, but when it comes to specifically to gaming journalists,
I think I think it's out of place feeling bad for someone losing their job if they genuinely don't know how to do their job. It's going back into the line of, are you gonna feel bad for someone who is just racking in money with not even performing the simplest task? It's kind of hard to feel bad for them. They basically are getting paid for nothing for years. And now, when they had those years to improve on their craft and report on games, they basically wasted those years. And instead of improving the craft, they worked on how to push your own agenda, how to push your own bias. So they made their craft even worse. And now they're upset that they're losing their job.
and what they do for a living, I'm not exactly going to celebrate this as a win, but I will say that I'm not really surprised by the outcome either way. This is the same website that has very confidently pushed back against the players and what they wanted from games in the future for years now. Like I said, I've been clashing with the gamer and dissecting and challenging their ways of thinking for years now. Like, look at this article titled, "Stop Using Mods to Make Female Characters Prettier." I remember reacting to this one actually.
Um, my thoughts on mods. I don't give a damn if people use mods. Why does the gamer care about if people use mods? The gamer paid for the copy of the game, right? So they are entitled to do whatever they want with it. If like tomorrow I decide, hey, I'm tired of playing Power World in the old vanilla way, let me just install a mod where every pal turns into just like a pair of butt cheeks. And that's how from now on I want to enjoy the game. I'm entitled to do that. It's a copy I paid for and I decide how I enjoy playing it.
and it was full of stupid takes. But this isn't even the most egregious stuff that the gamer has done. After all, they had infamous articles like this one. I'm personally going to force game companies to put in all the stuff you hate. And of course,
I'm personally going to force game companies to put in all that stuff you hate. How are you gonna do that? The gaming companies who did that, I'm sorry, one is under Tencent's foot now, and the other one is under EA foot now. I mean, Saudi foot now. Are you announcing that you want to make sure all these gaming studios go bankrupt? This is the dumbest thing I've heard.
with an image of Yasuke and Naoe from Shadows even then. A game that was met with a lot of backlash because Yasuke was not only terrible, but Ubisoft ruined that game by pushing all sorts of DEI slop in it too. Like making Yasuke's canon love interest the literal mother of Japan of all people, and if you enjoy the content, please like the video, subscribe and all that, thank you, but this is what I mean. That these websites like the Polygons and the Gamer and more, they have not really spoken for the players for a very long time. I would even suggest that IGN fails more often than not to also not really connect with what people want either. The truth is that gaming journalism in general has been nothing but slop for years now. I think we can all agree on that one. I used to actually be a big fan of IGN's. And no, I'm not kidding. When I finished high school, I actually wanted to be a games journalist. That is so cringe to admit, but it was true.
I think everyone had a moment in their life where they loved the game so much. When they were younger, they loved the game so much that they wanted to be a game journalist. I think it's only in the past 5 years where people started going, okay, gaming journalism is not exactly the play here. But we all had that moment. Like, even if we're not doing content, we all had that thought, hey, I love games. I know about games and I know how to play games. I would be a great journalist for gaming. Getting paid for doing what I love, yeah, that's a win-win.
I wanted to interview the developers and go to the events and review the games myself. Oh wow, I would watch stuff like Podcast Beyond, or what was that other show they had? Game Scoop, that's what it was. I used to watch that one too. Honestly now though, I just cringe thinking that at some point in my life I actually cared what any of these people on these podcasts had to think about games these days. Like, imagine actually caring what Greg Miller, or what's that other guy's name, the bald one on the other thing, Brian something, what was his name? I can't imagine caring what any of these people have to say about anything anymore, because they're just all birds of the same feather, and they just hate YouTubers. I mean, they hate the players too, unless you agree with them 100% on literally everything. Brian Altano, that's his name. That guy blocked me on Twitter, by the way, which was funny, but that kind of proves my point, really.
I feel like at this point, the humanity in general, not even just the gaming journalists, people in general, if you have like the slightest disagreement with them, they'll just block you on Twitter. I remember when I started this channel just last year, I was saying stuff like, hey, I never got blocked on Twitter. I'm so irrelevant. No one will even ever block me on Twitter. And meanwhile, I'm racking in like 4 blocks a week. And I don't even post anything down these topics on Twitter. But it's still people, they'll see like my YouTube channel and they'll go out of their way to find my Twitter just to go block me there now. These days, it's like getting blocked on Twitter is basically a badge of honor. Endymion, unironically, being a better journalist than game journals. Yeah, I might disagree with Endymion's takes here and there, like quite heavily disagree, but he's doing a way better job than any of them combined. That's just reality.
I actually checked his profile while I was making this video. His tweets are now protected apparently, but I'm like 99% sure he also blocked me in the past, which really doesn't surprise me. I guess they just don't like this. How else do I put it? But they don't like the new wave of media that is coming in to really take their spots, really. People like Asmongold, me, or others, I guess. I mean, there's channels that do what these people do as well these days. And the truth is that the whole corporate gobbledygook nonsense that usually constrains and controls these people from saying what they really think has just caused this new age media to just boom instead, which they are not happy about at all. People want to hear their voices in games or movies or entertainment in general that are, not usually tied down by corporate red tape whenever they try to say something these days. The truth is that there really isn't any gaming news website that isn't to some degree.
Maybe I'm too much of a monkey brain, like a simplified ape brain, like, oh, stick, oh, rock. you like. But the only thing I'm seeking out from reviews on games is this game is performing well on this and this spec. The story was good. The quests were good. I didn't have any bugs. Maybe my brain is too simple unga bunga. But if I see anything beyond that mentioned in a review about a game, and especially if they start spewing shit like, oh, this group didn't get any representation in it, or they didn't add any pronouns in this, I'd right away go, I don't care. Tell me if the game is performing well. Is it optimized? Are the graphics buggy? Tell me it's not $80 for 10 minutes of gameplay. I want to know that.
Agree tied to these tape these days? Well, there is one, but I'll get into that one later on. But every gaming website is pretty much being sponsored by some game or publisher at any given time, which means they usually can't talk bad about these games or give their honest opinions.
Yeah, because if they give their honest opinion, they're not gonna get access in the future. And for some reason, they think, hey, I'm gonna sell my soul for 2 days earlier access to a game. I will sell my own integrity for a 2 day early access. A lot of people would respect them way more if they just review it when it's released, or if they like get the reviewer an early access like version of the game just to make sure it's unbiased. I think it's so disgustingly dishonest that just to get a week earlier access and be the first ones to post it for clicks, that they completely throw out of the window honesty. Cannot sell something you don't have. Well, the honest truth is a lot of them, they probably did have interest in gaming at the beginning, and they probably did have integrity at the beginning, but all that was exchanged for money, and all that was exchanged to hunt down the clicks for the website. It's their integrity and honesty was just exchanged. I do think a lot of gaming journalists, they went through the same thing that content creators are going through. Just chasing that high of higher clicks and higher recognition while completely sidestepping what you used to stand for, or completely sidestepping any ounce of humanity. I also hate when people say outdated graphics. I care more about the art style and the gameplay. I don't know. Like, I don't care if they review art style or graphics, because that can be shown through pictures. So as long as you have eyes, I don't give a damn if it's mentioned in the review. I only care about, hey, we tested this game on 3 different builds of PC, handheld, console, and these were the performance benchmarks of a game. I want to know that. And I want to know if how how many dollars per minute of entertainment am I getting? Like, let's say there was a lot of games that came out that were like what, 20 hours gameplay, right? Let me grab a calculator here. 20 hours of gameplay for $50. So that would be 50 divided by 20. So that would be like $2.50 for an hour of gameplay, an hour of entertainment, right? When in reality, what I'm expecting from a game, including main quests and side quests, would be more like $1 an hour of entertainment. I think that's a fair exchange. Like, I want to know those things about a game before I purchase them.
It's not even like this is some new thing either. Maybe you remember, but maybe you don't. But well over 10 years ago, more like 13 even. God, it's been forever. But there was a guy named Jeff Gertzman. He once worked at GameSpot. That's this guy on screen here. So a little lore for you. But Jeff was a reviewer of games at GameSpot. And at one point, he was tasked with reviewing Kane and Lynch for the website. So he did it. He reviewed the game objectively and gave the game a, well, not good score, let's just say. And that was his opinion, all right? That's just what it was. The problem, however, was that GameSpot at that time was also having their entire website promoted and paid for via ads by Kane and Lynch's publisher. Here's an actual screenshot of GameSpot's website during that time. As you can see, the review is dead center on the website, and you have the characters of that game on each side of the website, so money was clearly being spent just promoting this game on GameSpot's website. Yet, Jeff Gertzman reviewed the game, like I said, poorly, and then the publisher of Kane and Lynch got really mad about it because they spent a lot of money promoting the game and paying GameSpot for.
I'm sorry, but I do find it funny. And even still, I don't feel bad for any of them because you can get monetization from reviewing games in an unbiased way without needing to, quite frankly, suck a dick of the company. You will actually probably get even more money.
Exclusive ad placement. So it was a big controversy at the time, and it was like a rock in a hard place. And what did GameSpot do? Well, as seen here from Kotaku in 2012, GameSpot actually just fired Jeff Gertzman over the controversy when he was just, doing his job by reviewing this game that he was assigned to do. So GameSpot, instead of losing out on their ad placement.
Would that be the timeline when game Journos started being just paid actors? Like, he got fired, the website got in trouble for it, so ever since, the game Journos just became paid actors, just mouthpieces.
And the bad guy, yes, from Kane and Lynch, they just got rid of Jeff instead. It was truly a moment for me, as someone who at this time was a devout watcher of games media, where my belief and trust in the system, honestly, it became fractured. How could a website throw a game reviewer to the side like this over their objective review? Why didn't they protect him? Why wasn't his opinion suddenly allowed to exist? They really did choose money over that of their colleagues' well-being, and yeah, they did. And ever since then, frankly, I've never given GameSpot much of any of my views, my money, or time ever again. I lost genuinely all my trust with them as a publication, because after all that happened, and I still remember that story clearly, even to this day, obviously, it was one of those original stories that for me, as someone who wouldn't cover games for at least 10 years and then some into the future, I
am getting a little distracted by the gameplay footage. I know I originally said I'm not gonna play this game, that it visually did not appeal to me. Looking at it right now, seeing the scenes I haven't seen before, I'm kind of hyper invested into how the game looks. I think I might actually try it.
realized in that moment that, wait a second, is gaming journalism just this corrupted actually? Like, I'll also never forget when GameSpot ran an article on Far Cry 5 as seen here, where they claimed that the game made them feel like an outsider because the game was full of cult-like white people, I guess. But weirdly enough, this article says that it was posted in 2020, but it wasn't actually. It was originally posted in 2018, so why was it saying 2020 then? Well, to my amazement, they actually reposted their own article 2 years later to Virtue Signal, and no, I'm not even kidding or lying, because in their own article, they address this near the top where it says this: this article, originally posted on March 5th, 2018, has been republished to amplify Black voices in GameSpot's support of Black Lives Matter. Oh boy, donate to the effort to fight systematic racism here. Oh yeah.
What does that have to do with gaming though? We went from just tell us how the game performed, just benchmark the game, and tell us if it's worth our buck, to activism right there. That's when it officially all went down the drain. And I'm not saying that people should never advocate for what they believe in. But what does that have to do with reviewing and testing games and the game's performance? Nothing. If you do that on the side, sure. Everyone can, like, for example, I love when companies are involved in charity events, right? I love it. I absolutely adore it, even though I know it's a tax write-off for them. Don't ask me how I know. But it's just a tax write-off to be involved in charities for companies. I still love it. I'm a sucker. But when a company that's supposed to just tell me if something is running well is indulging in politics and activism, it's it kind of is misaligned in my brain. The one karma points for when they have a take when giving a Veilguard 8 and Battlefield 6 a 6 rating.
That's real, by the way. That is in the article. Well, it is anyways as of this video being made, I guess, unless they change it, but good lord, is that cringe to read, especially since we're now 5 years removed from that, and given how we know how corrupted Black Lives Matter actually ended up being. But this is the gaming news media, guys. This is how GameSpot, this is how The Gamer, this is IGN, this is frankly all of them and more. I already know these companies hate me anyways, and to think at one point in my life that I wanted to stand alongside them is genuinely crazy. But let's be honest, in retrospect, can you guys even imagine me, of all people, like working at IGN or GameSpot? Me with my takes and beliefs somehow maneuvering the corporate landscape of these companies? I would have been fired instantly, dude. Because I quickly found out after covering
I honestly believe that this is a form of game journalism. Like, for example, what he's doing, technically, he is a game journalist, right? He is reviewing what's happening in the gaming industry, and he is talking about how a game is performing, and he is talking about the latest news of the gaming industry for tech. So technically, even though it's a YouTube channel, I think this is gaming journalism, what he's doing right here. Because the written media of gaming journalism is dead. The video media for gaming journalism, that's what it is right now. So for all intents and purposes, he is a game journalist, in my opinion. Like the ones we're talking about, like the IGNs and Kotakus and whatnot, those are just the dinosaurs.
games myself that these people just hate someone like me for a lot of reasons. One is, of course, they conveniently call me a grifter, but in actuality, I'm just trying to keep the news media honest, which is actually hard to do because they just spread misinformation like crazy, dude. But I guess it's easier to just call someone like me a grifter instead of challenging the fact that a lot of
Well, that's just like the popular thing to say. Whoever disagrees with them, call them a grifter. Even with my lukewarm pig piss takes, I get called a grifter. Go figure. It's just like a popular thing to throw at someone. Oh, you like apples instead of oranges? Oh, you're a grifter. That's the level of stupidity.
these sorts of people are frankly just tied to the monolith of the corporations that they were originally tasked with keeping honest in the first place. Because the truth is this, places like
I cannot beat your argument, so I'll try to slander you. Yeah, that's the approach everyone is taking these days. Yeah, on both sides, actually.
The Gamer and more, they were meant to be the medium between the player and the companies. But they, like many others, just became the lapdogs of the companies that they were supposed to keep honest in the first place. Even GameDeveloper.com, like they had articles in 2014 titled like this, "Gamers don't have to be your audience, gamers are over." That's from 11 years ago.
Are they stupid? This is the okay. I was wrong. Now this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Gamers don't have to be your audience. Gamers are over. You do know you need gamers to pay your bills when you're in the gaming industry. What kind of a brain dead take is this? Who's gonna pay your bills? Isn't it confusing that we went through like the article that did like the quote unquote gamer survey not so long ago, where they're saying everyone is a gamer now? Like 50% of women are gamers. Gamers are 40 years old. Everyone's a gamer, to gamers are over. Gamers are overrated. Even the journalists, they cannot decide which narrative they want to go with. Do we want to go with that gamers are nothing? We don't need them? Or are we going with everyone's a gamer? You play an hour a week, you're a gamer. Even amongst themselves, they cannot decide.
Ago. And are they over GameDeveloper.com? Are they? I mean, like, again, it's been over 11 years since this article, and the only thing over seems to be the jobs of the people that are covering games, and that's pretty much it. Like, here's the Gamer.com attacking players and claiming why Gamergate is toxic is also seen.
Of course, Anita Sarkeesian, the forefront of shut the fuck up. 15 reasons the toxic phenomenon swept gaming. I'll give you all the 15 reasons right here. She single-handedly destroyed the outlook on girl gamers, the entirety of the industry. This woman right here, Anita Sarkeesian. She single-handedly made women the butt of the joke in the whole gaming industry.
In here, yeah, another real article that they
Wait, is Gamergate with us in the room? Shut up.
made and thought was a good idea to post. Here's another infamous gamer article where they said if you use the Cybertruck in Fortnite that you deserve to be bullied. Interesting. I
What?
thought bullying was really mean and totally not okay to do. Oh,
This is what I mean. They keep on constantly contradicting themselves. Bullying is bad. Bullying is good. Gamers are bad. Everyone's a gamer. Representation. Specific representation. They constantly contradict themselves.
it's actually justifiable, actually. As long as it's against people you don't like politically. Well, alright then, good to know. And shout out to the master of the TDS over there at Gothic Therapy, because in this post here where they compiled a bunch of articles the gamer has made that kind of proves why what happened, well, happened. Like, let me read you some of these titles, dude. Sora doesn't understand love in Kingdom Hearts, and it might be because of compulsory heterosexuality. Or
Leave my boy Sora alone. What? Bro, he has already enough burden on his shoulder. Like, have you seen the size of the key? Now you're questioning his heterosexuality. That is so schizo. What? That is so schizo.
this one, unpacking the queerness of Final Fantasy 13. People are
What?
mad that Dragon's Dogma 2 thinks they're gay. Like, who are
What?
these articles for? And tell me you're not a real Final Fantasy fan without telling me, because who writes Final Fantasy 13 with the actual number? And
This is so dumb. It's so stupid. What are they doing?
not the Roman numeral instead. Like, it just keeps going. Look at these articles. Look at these titles, dude. Let me read more for you. Put Aloy
Maybe these game journalists, they should just like rebrand themselves as fanfic websites.
queerness front and center in the next Horizon game. Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores review bombed because of queer romance. So it didn't do well.
What?
You guys wrote that yourself.
I didn't even know it has a queer romance. And I know it had an issue with performance, gameplay, and how it looked.
By the way, it didn't do well due to the queer romance, and you guys even used the same thumbnail twice. Like, that's crazy. And this one too. Can we be normal about Aloy's queerness, please? I mean, can you become normal about not talking about her queerness 24/7 in multiple articles, maybe? And instead focus.
And by the way, this might sound like a little bit rash and grifty. But a lot of men are gonna rejoice and enjoy a character if there's a lesbian romance in a game. It was a top leading category in for a reason. Men love that shit.
Focus on what the game has, like its systems and stuff, instead of just the representation 24/7. But asking the gamer to not talk about much representation over, say, game mechanics or
Why does he say it like that? Reputation. No?
things people actually care about, that's like asking a fish not to swim. Like, it's impossible. It keeps going. Like, let's just read more of these article titles like this one. Yes, I reinstalled Horizon Forbidden West because Aloy is gay now. Colombian government sort of apologizes for hoping Luigi is gay. Queer.
What? Are these actual articles? Yes, I reinstalled Horizon Forbidden West because Aloy is gay now. Colombian government sort of apologized for hoping Luigi is gay. Queerness is everywhere in Spider-Man 2. Why Mortal Kombat Sindo is a queer icon.
Queerness is everywhere in Spider-Man 2. Yeah, that's why it sold 50% less in Spider-Man 2018, but you guys don't mention that in the article now, do ya? But this one is also great. Why Mortal Kombat Sindel is a queer icon. Ah yes, Sindel, the woman in a heterosexual relationship with a man who has kids, the queer icon herself, definitely. Like, you gotta give them credit though. Nobody with a normal, rational mind that hasn't been completely altered and ruined by SSRIs could come up with articles like these so frequently. And the funny part is that the gamers' articles, they aren't even really unique. Like, you can find stuff like this everywhere on other media websites.
No,
we
he's
love
right.
this character because they're gay, but we hate these characters because the chuds like them, I guess. I mean, I really love this article title at the bottom here that's titled Last.
And have you noticed none of them are mentioning how the game is performing? None of them are mentioning how long is the game. None of them are mentioning how well it's written. This is making me cringe into losing faith in the humanity. How can you make me cringe this much? No, actual gamer want to be a pander to. We just want good games. Exactly. Like, there are people who want a specific representation in the game. Would it be LGBTQ? Would it be big titty, big booty, right? It's still the same coin, just different sides. But majority of the coin jar, they just want a good game. It just that one coin wants to be not just like the other girls, you know? How did I go from coins to girls anyway? They don't mention the writing because they cannot read. I think they don't mention the writing because they haven't actually played.
Of a star Bella Ramsey says her gay army protects her from trolls. Yeah.
What? All right, let me read through the titles of these. Life is Strange has always been a gay game, okay? Square Enix reportedly didn't want Life is Strange to be the gay game, okay? Siren is engaged and I'm not sure my gay ass will ever forgive him, okay? Last of Us star Bella Ramsey says her gay army protects her from trolls. Okay. By the way, I don't like when someone is being harassed. I don't care who they are. Did you guys know that they recategorize pansexuals to omnisexuals? We're transformers now. It fucking kills me on the inside saying omni. These are the same people that lost their mind because Bayonetta had or have a straight relationship. Yeah, they lost their mind when they revealed that she has a husband and a kid, right?
Yeah, but too bad that her gay army couldn't, make up for the loss over 50% of the audience between seasons, but hey, I guess views don't matter when the message is all that really does. I also love this dual Life is Strange title here that reads, yeah, we think Life is Strange is gay, and then Square Enix, a little publisher, is like, oh man, we didn't want our game to be seen as gay. Like, you couldn't write better headlines to own your cause if you tried, dude. I mean, at this point, I really wouldn't be surprised if media sites just sort of funnel these titles and articles into like an AI slot feed.
Wait, I will have to add this into the video when I actually upload the react. The fuck is Omni? Now, when did that happen? Oh, hell, the Omni Sire. I guess I'm omnisexual. Omnisexual sounds like a chaos god. I'm sorry, this is peak. Everyone just went from listening to that video to what? No. So that apparently that happened like a year or 2 years ago, where it went from pansexual to omnisexual because omni everything. So maybe omnicide it. I didn't know we're all part of 40K. Omni, I was more hoping for Optimus. How about we just not classify people? It's exclusionary.
In some basement, and then it just churns out article after article ad nauseum for the rest of time, really, and like no one has to actually write them themselves. But thankfully, and I said I was going to mention at least one website that is for the players, the people over at Geeks and Gamers have teamed up with that Park Place recently to combine their efforts on gaming news to challenge places like GameSpot, IGN, and more. So if you want actual coverage on games that isn't just full of slop nonsense, everything is this flag or whatnot, please go check out that website. But here's one of their articles covering this mass layoff.
Or, just watch someone play the game and make a decision. Check out what their specs are. If they don't have the specs listed, just ask them what the specs are and make a decision based on that.
That is titled, "The Gamer Decimated by Mass Layoffs, Progressive Gaming Outlet Collapses as Valnet Makes Sweeping Cuts." So in Geeks and Gamers article, they say it straight up that the gamer failed because it talked down to their readership. They alienated the core audience and tried to replace them all with just rainbow flag apologists aplenty. Wow, gee, that sounds familiar, almost like every other gaming news website pretty much these days too. But as Geeks and Gamers says here, readers have had enough. The broader gaming community is tired of ideological lectures disguised as reviews and features. They want analysis, creativity, and fun, not guilt trips about who they are or what car their favorite game skin resembles. Yeah, that's all they want. I mean, it could be so easy, but they also continued with this. These, the gamer layoffs, are also part of a bigger picture, the ongoing gaming culture war that's been reshaping the entire industry. Once upon a time, sites like The Gamer,
I'm not a fan of people labeling it as a gaming culture war. It kind of gives me the cringe. I think right now what actually is happening, what every single industry eventually goes through, is a restructure of quality control. So I'm not going to be calling it a gaming culture war. I'm going to be calling it quality assurance control restructure. So the people who didn't pass the quality control, they're getting laid off and is being restructured to the most reliable sources being content creators. Restructure. And the same thing is happening in the game development industry too, not just the game review industry. It's just a restructure and reshuffle.
Kotaku and Polygon positioned themselves as moral arbiters of gaming culture. They scolded audiences for liking the wrong things, mocked old school gamers, and elevated activism over artistry. Gee, that sounds like every single other gaming website pretty much ever in the past now also, doesn't it? But Geeks and Gamers says more as they continue. For many, the gamer layoffs, feel less like a random business move, and more like the natural consequence of deeper issues within games media. The outlet didn't just lose its audience overnight, it eroded trust through years of tone-deaf coverage, ideological slant, and contempt for the very community it was supposed to serve. That doesn't make the human cost any less real. Behind every byline were editors, writers, and creators who worked hard to build their careers. Their livelihoods were erased in an instant, victims of both corporate restructuring and a wider cultural disconnect between gamers and the press. And in this case, I know for a fact that people who were let go at the Gamer were not just the crazy.
As I said, every single industry at some point went through that restructure and quality assurance. And right now, the game journalists are on the chopping block. That's all it is. We already had that, like early 2000? No, yeah, it was like almost early 2000s where everyone was panicking because no one wants to read the newspaper anymore. It became like the thing to read the news online. So like the print media was going through a restructure and layoffs. So now the gaming journalists are going through that. It's just like a natural chain of events that happen because technology and all that shit, it keeps on evolving. People's interest and how they consume information keeps on evolving. Like for example, even in content creation, it used to be popular to consume long form content. The reason why a lot of people went onto like the whole podcast craze. Then now people are on the craze of shorts. Long form content doesn't really bring as much clicks anymore and views anymore because people don't have that attention span. Now they need their information fast under like 60 seconds. So it always will keep on changing. And the second people start blaming others rather than adapting how everything is evolving, I don't feel bad for them. They're not adapting, they're just playing the blame game. I still consume long form content. Well, that you will be in the minority with that actually.
Activists, if you will. It was also just people who were just tasked with keeping the website running, doing the background work, and didn't actually, hate everyone that just disagreed.
Wait, quality assurance, quality left years ago. And this is why it's going through quality control right now. It needs to be purged.
With them. But the sad reality is that much like in gaming companies where the actions of the managers and higher-ups usually just ruin the careers of the grunt workers, the same happens at these outlets too. Sure, some of the writers and whatnot, they also got laid off too, but I guarantee you that the majority of the people that got shed was not the actual crazy people that were steering this ship into the iceberg either way. Like I said before, Jade King is still there, who wrote some of the articles that I showed in this video. So how can websites like this even repair their self-image if the very people who ruined it are still working there? They can't, and that's the reality. There's really no point in supporting places like this because if you do end up supporting them, it will just allow them to bring more crazy people into these same like-minded positions like before. And then they will just create a virtual phalanx, if you will, around their own ideas, and then they'll just spear anyone who tries to come close to them. Instead, the usual will happen, okay? It will be mass layoffs, and it's not because gamers are this or that. No, it's because the people tasked with connecting you, the player, with the content, were just frankly far more interested in doing.
The way it works, the consumer, they decide how they want to consume and what they feel entertained with. Okay, that's the only job of the consumer: consume and be entertained. Now, the person who's providing it, they are the ones responsible with what the consumer is consuming. They are the ones responsible to entertain. So the second you don't entertain the consumer, that's that's a failure on you, not on the consumer. You're not providing them what they want. So you don't get to blame them.
Genuinely anything but that, but now they're paying for it. I guarantee you that the people who were activists that did get laid off, they're going to land their feet at other publications. We've seen this happen time and time before.
Yeah.
They will continue to spread the propaganda that everything must be rainbow flags or bust, that we
But like Alyssa McConaughey, she got fired from Kotaku, but now she's writing for Rolling Stone. All of them are just part of a circle, and they're just only hiring specific people they already know.
you're all somehow bigots and evil people, but in reality, you're just normal. You just want coverage on games. You don't want some SSRI injected weirdo who can't reasonably tell you what a woman is because they fear that their own friends will tear them limb from limb if they answer that question with objective truth, which is probably why I'm being attacked constantly all the time too, as well as other creators as well, by people like this and their bot account followers, who again are all likely just being controlled by some homunculus freak in a basement with servers shooting out we hate these people because they're ruining our business pretty much constantly.
That's a
like,
weird
ask
visual.
yourselves objectively, why is it that when a game does have some diverse main character who is usually a woman, let's be honest, and is probably queer or something too, and it doesn't end up doing well financially, that it's somehow the right-wing grifters' fault, as they say? Like, look at the world right now. There's a lot of different people out there, right? So then why aren't all these other people buying these games?
Bro, I remember being called a right-wing grifter for saying a game is shit. I didn't even know what that means. I didn't even know who the hell are right-wing. It confused the hell out of me. One, I don't like following politics. Two, I'm not even from US. Other countries have on the right different kind of people. So right now calling someone a right-wing grifter is just yet another label that has no meaning behind it.
Then that are apparently made for them? Where are all the people that bought the Unknown Nine Awakenings or the Dustborns if these games are apparently made for them and them alone? Why do these games continue to flop then, time and time again? Could it be that everyone who plays games are racist? Well, that can't be it. It can't be the usual scapegoat that every evil gamer is a white man who doesn't buy or play games either. Because there's not just white guys buying and playing games these days, right? So then what is it? Could it be that maybe the content that is being made, that is being pushed by these publications, whose mission objective is to not fix the growing divide between the games and the players, are instead far more focused on just dividing you even more? I know some might say, well, players are more divided than ever, but I disagree actually. Think about it. Players are actually more united than ever before. Otherwise, we wouldn't be seeing the sweeping changes that we are seeing right now across the industry, and so quickly too. And that is a great thing. It really is. As they say, it is a total chud victory yet again. Look, all I want is for games to not be pushing slop and for the people to not be alienating their audiences, but maybe
I just want quality assurance in the gaming industry. That's it. How much am I paying per hour of entertainment for the game? If it's anything above $2.5 an hour of entertainment, the game is not worth it. I already broke it down earlier. That would be $50 for a 20-hour game. And how well is it performing? How well is it optimized? How well is it written? And I know majority of people are going to agree with me. We don't really care that much about how, like, who the hell is being represented in the game. We just care about how well it's made and how entertaining is it. We don't even care if it's repetitive. There's a reason why the games constantly go through waves and trends. Like, we had battle royale trend, we had FPS trends, we had MOBA trend, we have extraction trend. The gamer is not really picky. We don't even care if the game is repeating themselves. Like, for example, right now we're going through like the vampire survivor category trend because they're fun. I had like one unique thing there, and if it hooks us, it hooks us. All we want is good gameplay and good writing that's on the level of Red Dead Redemption 2. Is that too much to ask for? I would say a lot of people don't even care about writing. It would be how satisfying the gameplay feels. A lot of people do skip cutscenes. I'm not gonna say majority of people like skipping. I'm definitely one of the jackasses that does kind of skip through cutscenes. I just want satisfying gameplay. I grew up watching 80s and 90s movies and playing old school games. New cutscenes are such a drag. Kitty stuff every time. Oh my god, sorry. Gave me a jump scare. Don't worry, guys. It's not a bomb. I just finished downloading Red Dead Redemption 2. It's okay. We're all right. You're all gonna be fine.
Maybe that's too much to ask for these days. And if it is too much to ask, well, then I guess what happens needs to continue to happen. Because even if the industry is shifting and things are changing, if these people will not admit that they are wrong and that them attacking the audience is not the right way to go, like, what do you expect to happen to you then? And while I don't necessarily celebrate the downfall of the gamer, even though, let's be real, they would be doing the same with me if I was gone in a similar light, I will just simply say, I do hope that this is a hard lesson that they hopefully learn from, because their actions have had consequences. And it has affected more than just the people who are still there, but the people who had nothing to do with the nonsense, who were only there to keep the site up and running, keep the lights on. They were the ones that paid the price too. So it isn't fair to those people, and this will only embolden maybe the gamers remaining activists to just swing for the fences more. But when and if they do that, well, I will be here to swing.
This is a great video, but basically the bottom line is the main thing you need to remember. Just enjoy the game. If someone will try to push some bullshit down your throat that you need to concern yourself about activism or politics, just sidestep them. Don't even engage. All these people, they just want you to engage. Would it be either to get you on the same team as they are, or to just use you as an example to hate more people? Just don't engage, sidestep, enjoy what you enjoy. Don't feel bad for enjoying what you enjoy, and just keep on gaming. That's all. As for feeling bad for gaming journals, don't. Gaming journals are still there. It just, the ones that are getting laid off, they didn't adapt to how technology and times have progressed. We've been through that during the newspaper era, like dying out, and we're just right now with the written media here again. Just this time, it's not a physical print, it's a digital one. That's it. It's literally just time recycling itself again.
I'm spinning in circles like a crooked thread. Dance with the chaos inside my head. I'm bouncing off walls, can't find my feet. Stumbling round in a world so sweet. The world's a carnival, a funny parade. I'm laughing through tears in a bright masquerade. Strange colors blur, but I'm still in the game. Juggling dreams, but none feel the same. Bouncing on clouds.